other. He's a friend from work.
I'm just a simple man trying to make my way in the universe.
Don't you ever talk about me!
The Killing Time Podcast with Lux and Cody.
Check. Okay, what is going on? Episode, I don't even know. I feel like it's been 9 years. What's going on with you? What happened? You got malaria? You got fungi toe? What happened? Where have you been?
Wife got COVID.
Where have you been? What's going on?
Dude, I've been in the bunker.
Bunker bitch. You and the president.
No, so for real, what's been going on with me is my wife's pregnant and she got COVID. Mm-hmm. So while she laid at home sick, I headed to the Capitol.
You just wanted to check the windows out, right?
Yeah, I just wanted to
check the integrity of the windows.
No, seriously, just been quarantining a little bit, relaxing.
So how did you avoid it? What's up with that?
Because I think I already had it. I don't know.
Oh, that's weird.
I don't know how. I don't know how, dude.
But you never had any symptoms?
I didn't have a positive test either.
But what symptoms did she have?
Hold on, what'd you say?
What symptoms did she have?
She had. Well, no, let's just talk about this. The symptoms are one thing, but the way she reacted is a whole nother level, dog. Whole nother level.
Was it DEFCON 5?
I mean, and I understand she's pregnant, but
that is a little scary, right?
I called the Department of Health myself and said, I think we got a different strain that nobody's ever seen before over here. This paralyzed. She couldn't walk. I had to carry her. Well, that's not because of the COVID, but
that's because of the Portuguese man of war in Hawaii. But we've already covered that on this show.
All right. Anyways, but still, she wouldn't crawl around. She wouldn't do anything, man. She wouldn't she's. You know what I'm saying? So, now she was all and about, but she just got some body aches, a headache, and then, maybe a little stuffed. But it was like all her symptoms were, mild 3 days.
Yeah.
And then, boom, she's back at it, cocked, locked, ready to rock.
Everything's good to go now?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, everything's straight.
Good. Glad to hear that. Glad to hear everyone's safe, happy, and healthy.
I came home. I knew she was back when I came home and she was cleaning the sink.
Oh, shit.
Just like she should be.
Whoa. Don't get us canceled. We're not even up and running
I know.
yet. Can't get canceled.
No, listen. I love to make, isn't it fun? Isn't it fun to make those jokes, though? Is that not the funnest thing?
Oh, my God. It's the greatest. It's the greatest. So why did you, what's with this Packers green on your head? Are you a Packers fan all of a sudden? Or is that Jets? Is that Jets green? What green is that?
That's Adidas green, baby.
Okay.
It doesn't have nothing to do.
It's either Packers green or I think it's more of a Jets green than a Packers green.
It don't have anything to do with sports, but it is. Well, it is Adidas, so it does. I guess it does have. But it doesn't have anything to do with a team.
Mm-hmm. How did your Pens do last night?
Fuck off.
Did they lose? I have no clue.
6-3.
Oh, I don't even know who they played.
No, it was entertaining they played the Flyers.
Oh,
it was
6-3 to the Flyers. Oh, but people are already hopping off the bandwagon, right?
I'm not gonna let them ruin it for me. I'm not gonna let them ruin it this for me. I'm done with people's criticism that don't matter.
Why? But Pens fans are flaky. You know this. You know this to be true. And just inherently.
Yeah, but it's tough. It's tough for me. It's tough for me to find out or to compare this because I do know this, but I'm finding out more that so are the Steelers fans that I'm associated with. I think it's just the people I'm associated with. I can't do overall.
Do you think?
I can't speak about that.
Do you think the Steelers? It's kind of a because of how things have gone the last decade. You think it could be that? Or do you think it's just...
No, I think it's in the moment whining.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. I think it's more, if you look at it longevity-wise, I think the Steelers fans have been solid.
Yeah.
But, the thing about hockey is when it's good, and it's known to attract people to the sport, new people to the sport when it's good and when the teams are on fire.
Right.
More so than football just being the American sport, man. Just being part of the culture, right?
Yeah.
So, I think people tend to get on the teams when it's hot, and when hockey's not so hot, it's not a lot of people like to follow it. You feel me?
Yeah.
I think that's why they're flaky. I think it's easy to draw you in when a hockey team's hot and be like, oh, I like hockey. Hockey's fun because hockey playoffs is awesome, dude. I mean, you know what I mean? But then when you're not so many regular season games, when it's not playoffs and they're not doing good, is hockey a fun sport for everybody? Probably not.
Right. Yeah, I mean, at least you might disagree with me. I think out of all the major sports, at their worst, football is still the most entertaining, at least for me. Like, what I mean by that is a boring football game is more entertaining than a boring basketball game or a boring hockey game. Like, the worst. The worst.
So I'll tell you this. I just talked about this, actually. Football's up there for me I can't watch bad football. I have a hard time watching bad football. 3 and outs.
Yeah, that's tough.
When I call bad football.
Yeah.
Because, to be honest, if there's no progression in scoring, but people are playing well, that means this is a good game.
Yeah.
Right? Because I'm not looking for touchdowns every time or big, long passes. That's not what I know. I know what's fun about football, but I can't watch bad football in that sense, and it is high up there for me. Baseball don't count because I find it boring anyways. I like to go outdoor games, and if it's background noise, maybe sometimes.
Yeah.
Basketball, you might as well forget about it. I'll never watch it again. It's never the same. It's not the same game from when I was a kid, dude.
Yeah,
it's really not. So
it's tough.
I'm not. So it's not. That's not. They're not even on the list. So those are boring to me no matter what.
Yeah.
Right. So it's gonna be, except for college basketball, that could be fun.
March Madness.
Yeah, sure. But I think football's up there for me, man. Boxing's number 1. Bad boxing's horrible. And some would say, you probably say all boxing, but bad boxing's horrible. Hockey, it's fast paced, man. I can't. It's like, it's all interesting. It's all. Any moment something can go off. It's at any moment something can happen. So
I feel like hockey. How do I want to put it? For me, it's hard to like. Hockey is very, very streamlined, whereas football can go like up and down like a roller coaster. For the most part, I'm just saying overall, it's hard to get hockey that is like really, really high energy until you get super late into the season. There's like those few games that are like that, but overall, I think it's very streamlined. Whereas on any given Sunday of football, you're going to have a game that's 2, 3, 4 games that are just ridiculous. I don't think that happens as often with hockey. But the sport doesn't lend itself to do that either.
No, but you're saying because promotion and excitement and marketing and things like that come into play too as well, right? But with the excitement for the game. But as far as the roller coaster goes, and let's talk about the actual game of football versus the actual game of hockey. There is a lot more moving parts.
Yes.
On a football field.
Yes.
Because realistically, it's like this. A hockey game is moving back and forth at the same, and then something out of the ordinary happens.
Right.
Something, you know what I mean by that?
This is exactly my point here. Like,
exactly.
You're exactly explaining my point. Where football, you got downs, there's kickoffs, punts, there's 3 points, there's extra points. There's just so much more to the game. It's so much more of a complex game.
Yes.
That adds. It's built in. Like, drama is built into the game. If you miss an extra point, you're down. Like, hockey, the most you can do is 1 point to play. So if the other team scores, you're only down 1 point. You know? Not saying that's like that makes it any less of a sport, but football is built, like the drama is built in, whereas hockey, just like you're saying, it is just back and forth until the crazy stuff happens. Fights, brawls, or crazy shots, a big hit.
Even a goal.
Yeah.
Even a goal happens, and then they go back.
Yeah.
It's not always like that, but like there is some great defensive work
for sure.
And but how it works like this is, I think more so, it is in hockey. You have to take a step deeper and look at what the players are doing to. Because, like, okay, so I think in football, how it is for me, I won't speak for everybody, but for how it is for me, it's play by play.
Yeah.
It's not Ben throwing to Deontay. It's that play. It's first down. Okay, what are we doing on second down? Right? Third down.
Mm-hmm.
And I can appreciate the plays that are happening, if they're great plays or if they're what they're doing, but more so am I looking at numbers when I watch football, whereas hockey, you're actually looking at to be excited about it, you have to like, oh man, look how he passed that across.
Yeah.
You have to look into it detailed.
Yeah.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So not everybody's taking that. They're like, oh, that was a good run in football, or that was a good catch, right? It's easy to determine that in football for the normal eye. Hockey's not so easy that way.
You got to find.
If you don't
the
know what
game
you're
within
looking
the
for.
game.
Exactly, dude. So that's why I think like, football is. There's a lot of moving factors. But I think it's easier to be a fan of football too on the turn side.
Yeah, like when you're like a 2-minute drill in football, but like at the end of the game, like you just can't replicate that in any other sport, really. Even in baseball, I guess you kind of can because just your team is at like you can go win the game if you get bases or if you get runs at the end of the inning, but you can't replicate that 2-minute drill to win the game like you have in football.
But what about a game 6? 2-minute power play?
There's
to end the game. There's moments.
Yeah.
There's moments like to end the game or like
even a shootout it's there. Football is just like I'm just saying like that's what makes it different. It is built on drama,
but I think the sport has to make your heart beat. Right?
Yeah.
Like, hockey makes me flutter, dude, when I watch the playoffs. Like, dude, it makes me... Football doesn't so much. Mm-hmm. Football doesn't so much because it's like you can watch it going... It's a slower paced game.
For sure.
So you can see it coming.
Yeah.
You can almost brace yourself for it where, like I said, it's just this, and this, and then anything just happens. So when it happens, you're so shocked.
Yeah.
Because,
right.
You know what I mean? Where football, you can kind of see it coming. So for me, but I know you being a football fan... a big fan, it makes your heart flutter. Like, you get nervous.
Oh, my God.
And I do, too, but not like you. I know it's not the same as me. Like, I am with a Penguins game, but, like, with the Steelers, I can imagine.
Yeah. No, I mean, I hope one day I can get, like, back into hockey like I used to be. It would probably help if I would have picked a team that wasn't the worst fucking team in the league as my team to follow. Probably has a lot to do with why I fell out of hockey, but I'm not out. It's not. I'm not making things up by saying the game definitely changed a lot in the last like 10 years. They definitely changed a lot. They took a lot out of the game.
Dude, it definitely did. But, dude, you were me. You were me before I got into hockey because I never had a reason to. And I'll tell you, the only reason now I'm into hockey is it had nothing to do with hockey. It was the environment. Mm-hmm. It was the talking about it.
Oh,
It was the talking about it. I'm like, wait a minute. There's another awesome sport that my city reps, and I can be a part of this.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize it.
Yeah.
That's what did it for me, man. And I was like, but if the city wasn't involved, like to go be just a hockey fan of another team, and just sit and watch their games and everything like that, it wouldn't have got me into it. It never did. I was never that way. It was never that way.
Yeah.
No, but it was like, dude, let's go to Penn's games together.
Yeah.
This is this, and this, and then it was like, oh my God, this is great. Bandwagon fan, you know how it works.
Sure.
Right,
sure.
exactly.
No,
what
you're
it was.
right.
I mean,
Like the community and the
not gonna lie.
culture of being a hockey fan is where it's at. Like that is
exactly.
That's almost better than the sport in
That's what
itself.
drew me in.
And not to the extent where as baseball, where literally going to the game is better than the game itself. It's not that bad because at least once you get to the hockey game, you're entertained by what's happening out on the field as well. But you're right. Like the culture and the community of hockey is almost as good as watching the sport by itself, and will help you get into it.
So I will say this: when we went to the Steelers game, that was like, I don't know, maybe first or second Steelers game I ever been to.
Oh, and the crowd was crazy that night. That was a great night.
Dude. So, well, this is what I want to say. Like, dude, my first impressions of that, dude, Amazing, tremendous. It's a little bit sad for football because it is good in your living room.
Yeah.
Football, dude. It's great.
Yeah.
It's just that it doesn't matter. So, but that experience when you do go to the game and when you have good people around you, and we were in an awesome section that night, or was it day or whatever it was? Yeah,
It was like a 425 game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I mean, and that's how Penn's games were for me.
Yeah.
I went there, and then so my point was I was making. You can watch football in your living room. You can watch hockey in your living room, but it's a game changer when you go to a live hockey event.
For sure.
Completely different.
So much better live.
There's a difference in it,
Yeah.
right? It changes it. It changes it a little bit from your perspective. Where football, you're just embraced in the whole energy. It doesn't change the game much for you. No. Like it's an experience, but it's like I don't know how to explain it.
No, you're right.
Hockey,
and then there's baseball where being at the game doesn't change the game any. It just changes. You're killing time outside in the sun, eating a hot dog and doing shit like that and relaxing.
Like you would say this. You would say this about football to someone. You would say exactly right about baseball, but you would say this to somebody. You would say, "Oh, football. You think this is cool on TV?" Or I mean, I'm sorry, hockey. You would say on TV a hockey game when you say, "You think this is cool on TV? You should see it live."
Right.
About a football game, you would say, "It's a great experience to go to a football game. Yeah. It's awesome." But you wouldn't say, if you think this sport's good on TV, you should see it live. Because I don't think it makes the sport better live. I think it's an amazing experience overall, right? I think it's just a great atmosphere, everything like that. Whereas hockey, I think it makes the sport better when it's live.
Yeah, for sure.
I think I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah. Have you ever been to a college football game?
No, dude, because can you believe I'm not a college football fan? I haven't been since like NCAA when I played it on PlayStation 2.
I mean, especially this year. This year was a bad year for college football. But college football game, that definitely makes the sport of football better. For sure.
Dude, yeah.
I've only been to games at Penn State. Not that that's a bad thing, because that's, I don't know, a top 5 probably place to watch football in the country is to go to Happy Valley. And I've seen them play like a boring team like Illinois, and I've seen them play Ohio State. So I've got the good range, and it's ridiculous being at Beaver Stadium for a game.
Like, dude, for me, when I watch somebody catch a ball in a live arena, it doesn't make it say like, oh, he caught that so much better because it was live, right? It was a cool experience to see him. And then I'm just feeding off the atmosphere, everything around me. Yeah. It's not like, oh my God, he runs so much better in person, right? It doesn't do that for me when it's with football.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't do that for me. Live hockey slows down.
Yeah.
You can get a better perspective.
Are they having fans at hockey?
There was none.
I wonder if they're going to. I wonder if other states are. Interesting.
Well, I imagine some states will, but I mean, I doubt we will if Hines didn't.
Yeah. Interesting. I've only been to one Penguins game. Well, I've been to one Penguins game, and then I went to of course, the Hockeyville game. But
so first, I'm gonna say this, then we'll get off the subject. Listen to this, dude. First Penguins game. Remember, I said Steelers experience great. First Penguins game. Only reason why I went, and this is what sparked my interest in going to, or in starting to watch the Penguins. So I get these coach seats, like they're right on the blue line. Just, I mean, like, center ice, right? And they're a deluxe suite, so they got these nice chairs and everything like this. I'm trying to remember the story, how exactly how it went. But we're at center ice, and Verizon had given me these tickets for some reason. I don't know why, but they gave me these tickets, and we get down, find our seats. I took my little brother with me. We're sitting there, dude. We get these 2 booze bags behind me, right? 2 of them, one on my neck and one on my brother's, dude. Like these 2 dudes, like these frat guys. And like all I can remember is I'm sitting there and I'm trying to enjoy my first hockey game. This is cool. This is great. I got the greatest seats because these are the club seats, whatever. This is great. This is awesome. Good time. Dude, I told it's I had a good time, but I said, listen to me. I like hockey. Hockey was fun. I like the energy. But if I ever go to a Pens game, it might be tough for me. Dude, all I smelt was Molson.
Oh no.
And the dude behind us kept going, "Let's go, Pens!" And he kept breathing it hot on my neck, dude.
Did they chew?
It was just, yes, you fuck,
Oh, so you smelled the
Dude.
chew too.
dude. Chew, Molson, and hot breath and spit on the back of my
dad
neck. And
breath.
dude, I'm like, listen, I know if I
Oh,
go Pens. Dude, listen, dude. I knew we were in the VIP section, dude, because it was Verizon seats, dude, that they sponsored or whatever. Dude, listen, bro. We had a wide open space, and I knew at hockey games people fight, so I didn't want to say anything to the guy because I didn't have my fighting shoes on.
what were you wearing?
You know?
Birkenstocks. Crocs.
Yeah, I had my Crocs on. No, but no, seriously. So, yeah, I thought, I'm like, nah. I knew it. Oh, I told my brother on the way out. I knew it. I knew it. All they do is get boozed up. It's gonna be a bunch of college frat boys just not knowing how to control themselves. Well, I went back with my buddies and it was great.
Yeah.
I became the booze bag.
Did you?
Let's go. And it was this little old lady in front of me with a wig on, and dude, the back of her hair, the wig was just flapping in the back, dude, because I kept breathing my heart.
Oh, there's a breeze in here. Oh my god, that's crazy. So you've only been to the new arena then, or were you at? Did you go to a game in Mellon?
No.
Okay. Were you ever in Mellon? I was in Mellon twice.
I might have been in there. No, I
It was
wasn't.
weird in there.
But I heard they had I heard it was weird.
Yeah.
And I heard one section you had a beam.
A bean.
A beam in front of your
Oh,
face,
yeah,
like
for
a pillar, like it was
For
like
sure.
shit.
Yeah, it was not the great. It was old though. I'm not particular. I don't know. I can't say that I hate PPG Place, but I'm not particularly in love with it either, because, and not the building itself, but when you leave, they funnel you. There's only one way out. There's 19 ways to get in to that place that it's ridiculous to get in there because there's so many different ways. You don't know which is the right way to get in there. But then when you leave, they funnel everyone out the same exit, which I'm not a fan of. So
I like that.
you do?
Yeah, because it's less chaos. Believe
Less
it or not,
chaos
'cause when
putting
you-
everyone together?
No, because think about when you're at PNC or Heinz.
Mm-hmm.
You got people going different directions. You're running into people. People are cutting across.
Yeah.
People are fucking. You're like, whoa. Now they're herding us in.
Gotcha.
They're herding us in just like the sheep.
Those
That's
steps
why I think
are so
it's better.
steep for the seats, though.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that's crazy? The first time I walking down the steps, it's scary.
Dude.
It is steep. And
Dude.
if I remember correctly, Mellon was worse. I was young when I was there. This was
Yeah, I heard it was steep.
but it
I heard it nosebleeds were crazy.
PPG. I've been there probably for 3 concerts, maybe 4 concerts, and then I got to see Buffalo beat the Pens when I was in college. That was awesome. But those are crazy. They're crazy steps, really steep.
They are steep.
Mm-hmm. So actually, when I
And
went,
also-
do you remember the Boston Marathon bomb?
No, I don't remember that.
So
No, I'm kidding. What? Yeah.
it was the weekend that the game was supposed to be on a Friday. The marathon happened. Boston was supposed to come to Pittsburgh. That game got canceled. So the Pittsburgh Buffalo game ended up getting moved until the next weekend. And I want to say Pittsburgh was on some ridiculous win streak, and then Buffalo beat them. And then they went on another win streak and played Buffalo later in the season, and Buffalo beat them again. And Buffalo still finished last in the league, and the Pens still went on to the playoffs. But I remember there was a season where they snapped their win streak twice.
Man, you just loved it.
Loved every second of
I don't fuck with the sport. But as soon as I seen that come across my notification, dude, I loved it. I felt proud. I went and put my Buffalo jersey on.
That's as good as,
didn't you?
honestly, that's as good as winning a playoff game or making the playoffs. Knowing that Your team, you're the shit-ass worst team in the league, snapped the Penguins, 22-game win streak. Oh, my God. In my glory. And I got to see it happen live. Beautiful.
It's interesting.
Were you gonna say something else?
I was going to go into it, but the thing is, dude, it just doesn't add up, right? So some things some things just don't add up. And I think, there's more to the story. There's more to the story as to why you're not a Penguins fan, and we just don't know what it is. It's deeper because it doesn't add up.
What doesn't add up?
You love contact sports, right? You played roller hockey when you was a kid.
Yeah, and there was a time
nonstop.
There was a time where I probably liked hockey more than football.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Exactly. So something got in the way. Something got in the way there.
So the main reason why when I got into hockey, I was a Buffalo Sabres fan because they had the coolest uniforms. Literally, it was 2001, 2002. I was playing NHL hits.
But why wouldn't you pick up Pens? What stops you? Being that you're a Steelers fan, you love Pittsburgh.
Yeah. So I'm 7 years old.
I'm gonna make you talk about this.
I'm 7 years old when I get into hockey. Okay. Early 2000s. Keep in mind the Pens won in 91, 92, or 92, 93 with Lemieux.
I think. Yeah.
So this is only 6-7 years removed from a championship. Okay. Keep in mind, Pittsburgh hasn't won since 2008. All right? This is 6-7 years removed from a championship. And I remember my dad telling me, people wanted Pittsburgh to go to Las Vegas. They wanted to get rid of the team. No one, from what I remember at the age of 7, and this is going from 7 until Crosby and Malkin era. So what's that, 2008, 2009? Because didn't the Steelers and the Penguins win the same year? So this is from early 2000s to late 2000s. No one gives a shit about the Penguins. No one gives a shit about hockey. And anyone that gives a shit about hockey does not give a shit about the Penguins. And I'm really getting into the hockey in these years. Playing it because there's a roller rink down the street from me. Playing the video games, going to Chiefs games, playing roller hockey, doing I'm getting into it. Internet is starting to become a thing, so I'm on the internet looking at rosters, knowing the players, doing all this shit. No one gives a shit about the Penguins. All of my friends at school, none of them are Penguins fans. My family they're just Penguins fans because they're into Pittsburgh sports. I get that, but they're not diehard like some of them are now. So move along to 2008, 2009, they get Malkin and Sid the Kid, and all of a sudden, this friend was a Panthers fan, now he's a Penguins fan. This friend was a Red Wings fan, now he's a Penguins fan. A St. Louis Blues fan, Penguins fan. Everyone all of a sudden is Penguins fans because they're good, and I get it. I understand. So the bandwagon was the first, I'd never really had a disdain to the Penguins. I just didn't gravitate towards them because they weren't good. I didn't have anyone around me to influence me to, you should be into the Penguins. Like I did with the Steelers. You
didn't know how to hop on.
Yeah. And I just picked the team because they had an awesome uniform. So now, fast forward, now they're good, and everyone that wasn't into them is now into them. So then it's okay. And then they're really good for a long time. All their fucking fans are bandwagon fans. The slightest chance of them sucking, or they miss the playoffs, or they get bounced in the playoffs, and everyone, all they do is lose their minds and cry and complain. And I like to think how I treat the Steelers whenever they're good and they're bad, I try to keep it level. Even this year, whenever they were bad, I gave my criticisms. I said what they wanted to do better, but I'm not I'm done watching them. They suck. Get me into next year. There's a lot of shit you'll hear Penguins fans say that is just super bandwagon-y shit, and that was a big turnoff. While this is happening, while I'm getting turned off by all the bandwagon Penguins fans around me, hits are getting taken out. Fights are getting minimized. The game is a game of speed now. The rules are changing, and it just made the sport less interesting. I'm surrounded by annoying fans, so everything I know about hockey is what's around me, and they're all annoying Penguin fans. So it just, that combined with the way the sport trended, and I know that this happened with football too. I know that football got softened. But the combination of the softening of the sport, now it's a speed game, my team sucks balls, and everyone around me is an annoying, flaky-ass bandwagon Penguin fan, just totally like kind of put a bad taste in my mouth when it came to the sport. So that's where we are today.
That's the answer. Mm-hmm. So I don't think that it has to. It's not an American. It's not an American cultured sport per se to like football. Mm-hmm. So like I said before earlier, it's that you're about the bandwagon fans and the Penguins when they're not doing good and nobody was talking about them. That's what I was trying to tell you, man. They had to get hype again because that's what the sport calls for. Remember what I told you happened to me? That's just what happened to everybody around you. When they got Sid the Kid and Malkin, the hype, because majority fans are into that community, that what'd you say earlier, that
culture?
Yeah, that culture, all that. I mean, that's what majority fans are when it comes to Penguins.
Could you imagine if 8 years removed from a Super Bowl, we're talking about sending Pittsburgh to Las Vegas?
I mean, it won't happen that way.
No,
but that's because, like, but imagine that it wouldn't happen that way in like Montreal,
right?
For hockey, I mean,
there's markets. Detroit can suck for the next 30 years, and their fans aren't going to want them to move.
We have a high expectation of our sports teams as fans. Mm-hmm. We definitely, definitely.
The Pirates have sucked literally since the 70s. And no one's trying to get them you don't hear about them getting moved.
You know why?
Why?
Because it's more enjoyable to go to the game than to watch the game.
You're right. They don't want to. Dude, $12
dude, that's
ticket.
Literally
go
the
down
only
to the
reason.
Game, buy a $15 beer. Yeah, you're 100% right.
Why wouldn't you sit there, do bad things, drink beer, eat hot dogs and nachos, shit you're not supposed to be eating and stuff? You know what I mean? Like,
you're 100% right.
Yeah.
I did want to recap the Steelers. I think we should wait another week though. I don't think we need to talk about them today. And that sounds bad of me to say after what I just said about the Penguins fans, but I just want to I want to see what the Browns do this weekend. And I'm glad that we didn't talk about them earlier in the week because now that we know that Randy Fichtner got fired, I wish him the best luck in future. I hope he finds another job, but I can't tell you how glad I am to know that he's not calling plays for us next year. So that's what I'll say about that. Let's just wait a week or so. Let's see if any more announcements get made, and then like maybe next week we'll just talk about what we thought about the year and what we want to see next year. You know, because someone might retire in a week. You never know. So we'll just talk about them next week. Sound good?
Sounds good, my man.
Okay. So this week I texted Cody and I was thinking a good thing to talk about, fun thing to talk about is if we could build a dream garage and put any 10 cars in it, what would they be? So I threw together a list and like Cody said before we started recording, to get the actual 10 cars you really want, you could literally spend days, weeks, months thinking about it until you got the perfect 10. So I narrowed it down the best I could. I put a couple of honorable mentions on here because there's a few that you could probably swap out. If I did this again, I could probably come up with a better list, but I just sat down and started with the first 15 cars that came to mind, and then maybe 15, 20 cars that came to mind, and then this car is very similar to this car, so maybe I wouldn't need both. So I kind of
So some of these cars for me are why not?
Yeah.
Just be because why not? Because I can.
Yeah.
right?
For sure.
Not saying just like not all these cars pique my interest.
Sure.
But what am I gonna say? These are the best choice. These are what I would pick of the class.
Sure.
That we went through. Like these are like some of the things that I would pick if I could, no matter what. But if I was actually like, because this is a scenario where whatever you want, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But if I actually had to put time and thought into it, there'd be some different. There'd be some difference on this list. But if it's just whatever, I'm bored. I have all the money in the world.
Yeah.
This is what I'm buying.
I also I surprisingly tried to keep it. I don't know. This wasn't actually inherently on purpose, but like looking at my list, there's only a few things that are like super ridiculous, like one or two. I don't have any like Bugattis on here. I don't have anything.
Oh yeah, I got
super.
I put all
flashy.
that on there
because I put stuff on here that I know I would use. So I broke it down. I'll just go through it. And I'll give mine, and then you can go and give yours. So my front engine cars. These are just what came to mind. These are cars I would love to drive and own. So my first thing is an E30 M3. So that's like your 1990s. This is like the pinnacle BMW M3. Known for like it's a driver's car. This is a car that's super fun to drive. Not by today's standards, super fast and super thrilling, but this is a car that's super solid, super reliable. You can have a lot of fun with, especially like you can drive it in the snow, do a lot of snow drifting. When I edit this, I'll put pictures of everything in here. It's a super boxy shaped car. I just love it. I've always been a fan of BMW. So an E30 M3, which actually pretty sought after. They're not super expensive, but to find these in a good shape, they're going for $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 nowadays. And this is a 30, 40-year-old car almost. Next, this is only one of two cars that I've actually driven, and this is the Nismo GTR. And I would probably just go with the newest, whatever the newest one is, the most advanced, the most powerful Nismo GTR. I've always loved the Nissan Skylines and Nissan GTRs. Got to drive this car on a racetrack, and it was everything I wanted it to be. So I don't have a...
But listen.
Go ahead.
Listen now. Right? Not to cut you off, but
fine.
listen. That's a dream car for you?
If I had 10 cars in a garage, there would be a GTR in there.
What do you know? See, like, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's so many options. How do you know you wouldn't be selling yourself short?
Well, and keep in mind
because like, what would a Bugatti do to you if you drove one? Like, that's what I'm saying.
Here's the thing, though. I don't think you're gonna, even if you got the money, you're not gonna drive a $2 million car like you're gonna drive a $100,000 car. You're just not.
Ask Tracy Morgan. Tracy Morgan. The bitch hit him in the Honda. Yeah. He said it was a CRV.
Yeah,
he hit his Bugatti.
He lost his mind.
$2 million.
He lost his mind. But he also drives that thing in New York City and then valet parks it at a freaking steakhouse. Like,
yes.
I'm gonna drive this shit out of my GTR.
I'm saying, like, this is a perspective of dream. No matter what, you can do it because you could just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
All right. So GTR, which is dope.
So then,
which is dope.
And here's where I run into a problem, because I also have a BMW M8 competition on here, and those are very, very similar cars. So I just put them both on there because they're what came to mind, and I love them both. So one of those could easily get replaced with something else because they're a very similar car. The M8 has a V8 twin turbo. The GTR has an inline-six twin turbo, but they're both a coupe and all-wheel drive. The M8's probably a little bigger, but those are very similar cars. Then I have my only real like classic car on here is a 1963 Corvette, and that is the one with the split rear windshield that they only made for 1 year. I think it's one of the most beautiful cars of all time. I put the newest...
It used to be like the Coca-Cola car.
Yeah. I put the newest...
Red and white.
The C8 Corvette. I have that car as an honorable mention. only because I'm going to get into the mid-engine cars. And kind of like I said, with the GTR and the M8 being very similar, I don't know if I would like the new Corvette more than my two mid-engine cars I have on here coming up next. So there's easily like the GTR, the M8. If I cut one of those, I would probably have a ZL1 Camaro on there, or something like some kind of either a modern muscle car or an old muscle car. I would probably ditch one of those for a muscle car, but that's an honorable mention. Moving on to mid-engine, I would definitely have a 911 GT3 RS. This is a car I'm going to get to drive in 2021, and I cannot be more excited to do that on a racetrack. Always love the 911. I'd even be fine with a Turbo S, but the GT3 RS is just that next level. Like, that's as crazy as it gets. And at one time, that was the quickest car in the world around the Nürburgring Ring, and that is the racetrack in Germany that pretty much every sports car gets tested on. So right now, it's a Mercedes that holds that, but just a year ago, the 911 was the fastest car to do that. So that would for sure be in my dream garage. Next, I have on here an Audi R8 V10. This is pretty much the same car as the Lamborghini Aventador, I want to say it, or maybe it's not the Aventador, but there's a Lamborghini, and it shares the same platform as the Audi. Lamborghinis are just a little flashy. Like, they're definitely cool, and it would surely be fun to drive, but I definitely know I would enjoy to own the R8 more. I would drive it more. So would I like a new Corvette more than a 911 or an Audi R8? Probably not. That's why I didn't put the Corvette on there. So, but the new Corvette is probably the coolest car in the world right now for new cars. Next, for sedans, I only have one sedan on here, and this is a car I've actually driven, and this is the Mercedes-Benz E63S. This car is one of the most perfect cars ever made because the quality of the luxury in the interior is just almost as good as it gets. The only thing that's going to beat it is like Bentleys and Rolls Royces and things like that. So it's super comfortable, super luxurious. Everything in it works great. Drives impeccable. The power is ridiculous. It's got 603 horsepower, over 600 pound of torque. Just unbelievably fast and powerful. And like I said, comfortable. You can use it every day. It's a big car. You can fit your family in it. You can fit luggage in it. So if I had a four-door car, that's probably the best four-door car out there that's going to drive well, look good, super comfortable, super luxurious. It's just a perfect car. And I would probably take that over the BMW M5, which is about the same thing. I just think the Mercedes looks a little nicer inside and outside. So next, on to SUVs and trucks. This my craziest car on here is the six-wheeled Mercedes G-Wagon. That was a super limited car. They're over $1 million. It's definitely the most expensive car I have on here. But you'll see the picture of it. The G-Wagon with six wheels and a pickup truck bed. One of the most ridiculous production cars ever made, and that would surely be in my garage. Next, I have
That's dope.
Which isn't even out yet, but the new Hummer EV, the electric Hummer, whenever that comes out, everything I've seen on that thing, that car is absolutely ridiculous. Inside and out. It's got an amazing interior. The things it can do off-road, and the capabilities it has, that looks like it's going to be one of the coolest cars. And that's a kind of pretty expensive car, too. It's going to be over $100,000. But the new Hummer EV, maybe I could probably swap that out with something else if I really thought about it. I'm not super big into trucks and SUVs, but I think I could definitely satisfy the itch as long as I had a six-wheeled G-Wagon and then an electric Hummer.
What more do you need?
Right. And then under miscellaneous, this is a car that's not actually a production car, and there's a few different variations of it, so I might have one or two pictures of this up, but a Safari 911. So what they do is they take like an 80s Porsche 911, put it on a lift kit, give it knobby tires, and turn it into an off-roader.
Oh, yeah.
These were actually rally cars back in the day. So it's not just like a custom hot rod thing like they were used for a rally car. So just picture like an 80s 911 body just lifted up on like almost like a dune buggy Volkswagen Beetle. Like you've seen those before, right? Where they take old Beetles, beef them up and turn them into like off-roaders. That, only it's a Porsche 911. The coolest thing ever. So you'll see pictures of that. So the honorable mentions I didn't put on here. I just already mentioned the ZL1 Camaro. Of course, the C8 Corvette. That's the newest Corvette. The Rambo Lambo, which is this is a 70s and 80s. It's kind of like Lamborghini's version of a G-Wagon. It was a military car turned into a street car, and it's a super ridiculous, super massive Lamborghini. Not a luxury car by any means. It's a military vehicle. So think G-Wagon only, Lamborghini. The Rambo Lambo, it has a real name. I can't think of it. It's like the LR 100 or 1000, something weird. Also, an honorable mention, an Aston Martin DBS Superleggera. Aston Martin makes some of the most beautiful cars of all time.
The DB5s and all that.
Yeah, it's just absolutely stunning. The DBS Superleggera. I had a really hard time picking. I knew an Aston Martin is a dream car of mine, but which Aston Martin, it's just so hard to pick. And I came across this one. It's a good mix between super luxurious and super sporty. Also on here is the R34 Skyline. This was the last Nissan Skyline made, only in Japan, so you can only get it in right-hand drive. Just one of the most iconic sports cars of all time. An R34 might even take that over a modern GTR. I wouldn't know. I would literally take me to get to the point in my life where I could drive both for an extensive amount of time before I could decide on which one I wanted. But I just put the modern GTR in there because I know I've driven it. So, but maybe I would like the old one better. And then the only other thing on here, surprisingly, I put is a late 90s Lamborghini Diablo, one of the most beautiful Lamborghinis of all time. They pretty much took the Countach, which was like super 80s, and like refined it, and it just made it one of the most beautiful cars of all time. But a late 90s Lamborghini Diablo is another honorable mention. But outside of that, for the little time I put into this, that's probably the 10, and then the honorable mentions, 10 best cars I could think of to have in a dream garage. So now I will shut the hell up and let Cody give his.
All right. So I'm not the connoisseur like Lux when it comes to vehicles.
And maybe mine was weak. Maybe you're going to blow me away here.
No, I pick this list right here. Mm-hmm. This list is a dream list, and it's what I would find. These are cars that I find cool.
Okay.
And it's not because every one of these cars are more than what I could handle.
Sure.
Right? So this is not like anything these are like some of my favorite cars based upon how cool they are.
Yeah.
Not how well they drive, not how fast they are. These are basically some of the cool, mainly cosmetics, but I'll go down through the list.
No, and that's where everyone gets into cars because they think they look cool and they sound cool. That's where everyone starts. And I've only driven a few cool cars, and this is just in the last half a year. I've barely driven a lot of cool cars, so I can only speak so much on the way cars feel and drive. And this is coming from a guy that, one, doesn't know how to use a manual transmission, and two, has only driven rear-wheel drive a handful of times. So,
yeah, I mean, I definitely know the feeling and how cars drive are in effect, mm-hmm. but that I've only ever experienced the classic cars.
Yeah.
I've only ever drove old cars. I've never drove like a supercar or anything like that. So I don't know anything about that, but these are some of my favorite cars. Mm-hmm. All right. Some of them, the dates matter. Some of them don't. But
yeah. And trust me, it was hard for me not to put a bunch of fucking Chevelles, Shelby Cobras.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane the list that you could put.
Like looking at my
list. It would take you.
Looking at my list, it's missing like an old muscle car, and I said I would probably throw one on there, but it's hard to pick an old muscle car.
Let's say you're into some money.
Yeah.
You have some money, and you're going to build a collection. Mm-hmm. It would take years to do this and not if you were just super super rich, but if you had enough money to where you could build a nice car collection, it would take you years to figure out what you wanted to get, right?
And to find. You have to find them, too.
You don't know what you're. Yeah, but you don't. Yes, exactly. But you also don't know what you're missing out on,
Right. Because
there's so much. But so this car, I intend on having. Obviously, not this car, but I definitely want a Dodge Challenger. But I got the Demon on there.
Okay.
Definitely.
Yep.
Why not? I mean, if I get a chance, I mean, I'm definitely gonna put that in there.
Yeah.
But I'm not even joking. In the close future, regardless of what it is, if it's, I'd like for it to be like an SRT8.
392 is where it's at.
But
Look into a 392. That's where really good performance and price meet in it's a nice sweet spot. 392.
Sweet. But I swear. So that's like the only realistic car on here that not the Demon, but the Dodge Challenger.
Yeah, but even a Demon.
I had to pick the.
It's under $100,000, so it's not.
But
it's not ridiculous.
The boy got the Hellcat, right? The dude got the Hellcat. You know.
But yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not that I say that's me, but I'm saying Dodge Challenger of some sort.
Yeah.
Is definitely on my list,
Yeah.
but of for real. But okay, and then we'll go into the dude. I have to go with the 1965 Pontiac GTO.
Ooh, in orange?
I have to.
In orange, right?
Yeah, I have to, baby. Yeah, dude, I have to, baby. And then I got the Shelby GT 500.
Oh, wow.
Classic, like a 60, like a 65, 67.
I'm not a Mustang guy.
69. Yeah, me neither, but that's the only Mustang I like.
Yeah.
Gone in 60 seconds.
Yeah.
Eleanor.
I just want to say this before I forget. Not that this has anything to do with what you said, but
whatever. Yeah.
And the shame that they even make. It's a shame that they even make it. But a 2017 Ford EcoBoost Mustang 4-cylinder convertible, hands down. Out of the, 40, 50 cars I've driven in my life, hands down, the worst vehicle I've ever driven on any quality level, on any use. And I know that if you get the GT350 and the GT500 of nowadays, world-class journalists and people say that it's one of the best American cars out there. So I'm not saying all Mustangs are bad. But if you get the base, skimpiest Mustang out there, easily the worst car I've ever driven in my life. So anyone that's watching this, if you ever think you're going to get a Mustang and you don't care that it has a 4-cylinder, you're making the wrong choice. Continue.
Right. Yeah, and that has to be like I said, that's the 67.
Yeah.
That's the 67.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in any of these new Mustangs. They're just not.
Yeah, that's the way to go.
What I'm into.
You've got to get the classic.
So then I had to go with the Aston Martin 177. Ooh. Just because that's just a crazy looking car, man. I mean, you pull up with that.
Oh my God.
People are gonna be like, "What the hell?" Right?
Oh my God.
So then, I don't know if anybody's gonna know, but this is like, and I was gonna say this at the end. My favorite car on the list is the one I'm going to say now.
Okay.
Out of all the cars I picked, this is my favorite car. It's the 1970 Nissan Skyline GTR Coupe.
Oh, the 70s.
S45. Yeah, S45, dude. The 1970. It's like a 2000 GTR.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It's got the mirrors are up on the hood.
Yeah,
Yes,
oh my
dude.
God, dude. This is my favorite car on the list.
That was like the
have to have that.
That was like the Japanese mafia car, like the Yakuza car. Like that.
Dude,
did
that
you ever
car-
watch Tokyo Drift?
I have,
I'm
yeah, but
pretty
I just don't
sure
remember much about it.
There's one in there that's like a bullet like gunmetal gray with black wheels, and they like the old school muscle car wheels, not like shiny like flashy wheels, like rivets, just the wheels, like almost like a donut. It looks so badass, so badass,
dude.
I love
car.
the mirrors up on the hood. Look so cool.
Yeah, it's dope.
For sure.
It's dope for sure, dude. Like the I want to say, but I might be wrong. I could be wrong, but I thought they did that with the Daytonas too. You know what I'm talking about? I want to say the Daytonas, the Joe Dirt car.
Long ass thing.
Yeah, I thought they did. I thought they
have
had them up there too, but I could be wrong. It might just be the mirrors because the hood's so long.
Yeah.
But moving on to the mid-engine, we got the. So first of all, I wasn't gonna, dude. I can't leave it hang, so I'll mispronounce it if I have to. But dude, this is like one of my top favorite mid-engines is going to be the Ferrari.
Okay.
The 1984 Ferrari Testarossa.
Oh, dude.
Dude, gotta add that on my list, dog. So
is there? What color do you think of?
Red. I want the original
Red
classic
with
red.
with
I
tan
like the
seats?
black, the white. Yeah, I like the black. I like it. I like it in the colors the red is just where it's at for me.
Yeah.
With the Ferrari,
Yeah.
I think it's classic. So I have that on there as my mid-engine, and then so it's gonna be I got the Porsche 918 Spider.
Oh my god.
Couldn't get it out. So it's a Carrera GT.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Is the convertible, and this is just I think a little bit better. Like the Carrera GT is where it's at, but what I'm familiar with. But this car, I've seen this numerous times, but it's just dope.
That's a crazy.
It's just dope.
I think I would go Carrera GT. I think it looks a little better, but the 918 is probably better driving.
I did that because of why not. Remember I said some of these are why not?
Yeah.
I had that on there, but
they're ridiculous.
for the convertible.
Ridiculous.
But
yeah.
So yeah, all right. So I have those are my mid-engine, and I'm moving on to the sedans. So there's no when I have the cars that I just mentioned, there's no real modern day sedan that I would prefer. If I'm going to drive a wagon or like a grocery getter, yeah. So my first one's going to be the 1959 Cadillac.
Ooh,
got to, baby. Gotta have, like, if I'm going 4 doors, I'm going old school, baby. And then
that's fair.
This was tough, dude. This was tough because it was going to be it was either this or a Lincoln. But I went with the 1960s, and this will range. You know, the 59 Cadillac will not change,
right.
But the 1960 Impala.
Oh my god!
You take it up to 64, 65. I'm cool with it, but I'll go with like a 1960 Impala. But all of them engine work done out, obviously.
For sure.
But there you go. Classic though, man. You want to get that classic feel, and then and then for just like the SUV. Honestly, so Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon is one of mine. Just a G-Wagon of some sort.
Yeah.
I definitely would want one.
For sure.
Not the 6-wheeler. I looked that up and I'm like, nah, that's a concept car. I honestly thought that was concept, dude. I was like, I forgot that you showed me that before, right? So I'm like, yeah, but I definitely want a G-Wagon. Yeah. And then it wouldn't matter because I could just do it anyways, but the Tesla truck would be dope.
The Cyber. So but, I went Hummer EV over the Cybertruck.
Is it sweet? I didn't see it.
If the Hummer EV if that wasn't announced, I would have went Cybertruck. But the EV, it looks a little more mundane compared to the Cybertruck. So the Cybertruck is definitely more like visually striking. I think the Hummer is probably more useful though. Like it's probably a better truck.
More practical?
Yeah. And like probably better at everything, actually. Just about.
Really?
At least from what they're saying and what they're showing. Like it can crab walk where like the wheels can like.
Is there any.
All 4 wheels can turn at the same time and like the body can shift.
Yeah.
Like it does some crazy shit. There's cameras like you can see in the wheel wells for off-roading. Like it's going to do some crazy shit.
Is that GM?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's okay.
Right?
So Hummer is rebrand. Hummer is not a manufacturer anymore. Hummer is now just a GMC. So it's a GMC Hummer EV. There's a very small GMC logo on it.
Bro, you remember back in the day, them Chevys,
Hummer
like maybe
was
like
always General Motors, but now the Hummer brand died. They brought it back. It's not a brand anymore. It's a model of GMC.
So I'll tell you, I'll say like 2010. 2011, something like that, somewhere around there, that GM had a truck. Their regular truck would do that with the back tires. For backing in trailers, they actually, you would have 4 ball joints. Yeah. You would have all tires rotated.
Yeah,
but they discontinued that. Yeah, they discontinued it because it didn't work out, and they must have
Yeah, that was an option on Silverados and what's the GMC called? So a GMC Sierra.
Sierra and Sonoma, yeah. So I got the Mercedes-Benz G-Wagon.
For sure.
the Tesla truck. But honestly, this is just me, man. This is just who I am, dog. After the G-Wagon, though, before the Tesla truck, I would have a Ford F-250 Highboy.
Oh, okay.
100%, dog. 100%, dude. Like 100%.
I thought
G-Wagon
about-
first.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
more of a G-Wagon guy,
Yeah.
but the Highboy, dude. Oh, you pull up on people with that, dude. You're just.
I thought about putting a pickup truck like the Raptor or the new the Dodge T-Rex, but then I'm like, if I got a 6-wheel G-Wagon, I'm never getting in a pickup truck. You know,
No,
it's got
dude.
like I'm
No,
just
hell
never
no.
gonna do it. So there was just no room for a pick. Once you have that,
I do find classic trucks nice.
yeah.
I do.
Yeah.
I personally do. Like I like old trucks
old-
just as well. But I'm more of a.
An old school Chevy. I would love an old school Chevy.
I have sometimes I have a hard time, man, getting into the new cars, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like you know, like you notice most of my cars are old. That's
Yeah.
on this list. You know what I mean? Just because I don't know something about it for me. It's just
Yeah.
That's just what I'm into, I guess. They tend to make the new cars look the same.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, but that was that. It was that way through every era, I guess, because the GTOs and the Novas and the Chevelles and all those, they all look the same. The Mach 1s and the Boss with the Mustangs and they all were shaped the same way at one point in
Yeah.
time. Impalas, so I guess it's that way. But the performance of the new cars is where it's at.
Yeah, for sure.
That's where it's at.
just getting
That's
ridiculous.
that, and that to me, like you, dude, that interests me, but not to the level that you would actually do it,
Right.
right? So like, hell, I wouldn't turn it down, but it's not like I'm. You know what I mean? Like I don't know if I'm interested in performance as much as you are. So that's why the newer cars. I think the cosmetic. I don't know. The classic period. I think classic cars are just something special.
Yeah.
I think there's something special.
Yeah, you're 100% right. There was definitely a different like philosophy when it came to designing cars, depending on the era. For sure. Was that 10? You gave all 10? Okay.
Yeah, I just went through them,
Yeah.
dude. I didn't have any specific reasons.
Yeah.
That's a cool color. Oh, I like how that's shaped. But I like these cars, dude. And
could
all those cars
Could you narrow it down to
What?
just one? Like if I said
on that list.
like just anything. If I said I'm gonna give you the keys to a car right now, what do you want it to be?
I want it to be that Nissan. That 1970.
The classic Skyline, the first Skyline. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's tough.
That's the one, man.
One car. God damn. I don't know.
Yeah.
Let me look at my list again and see. I mean, I guess
On the list, I could. On the list, but I'd have to really think.
Yeah, I
If it was
guess
out
a
of any car,
911.
I don't know, man.
If you said, I'm going to give you the keys to one car, I would guess I would say a Porsche 911, but it's tough. Where the hell is my list? 63
But I would probably,
Corvette.
if it was me answering, if it was really me answering it, I'm probably going to tell you something practical.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Like a
actually,
Hellcat
look at my
or
list
something.
again. If you say I'm going to give you the keys to one car, I'm going to say the 6-wheel G-Wagon. Because once I have that, like, that's the most ridiculous thing on the planet. Then, like, anything else I get is just whatever, you know?
Dude, could you imagine sitting in traffic in Pittsburgh with that thing?
Like, it would actually kind of be pretty miserable, but at the same time, it would be badass. So,
But yeah, could you imagine, dude?
my
Like
God.
changing lanes and shit. That'd be just crazy.
yeah. But the thing is, like, even if you gave me the keys to that car, I wouldn't want to drive it every day. So I guess I'll go with a 911.
You'd have to go something practical if we
Yeah.
were driving it every day. That's what I'm saying. I'm not gonna drive that Skyline
Yeah.
every day.
Yeah.
There's no way. First of all, I couldn't even drive it. You know what I mean? Like
Dude,
the fact that
the Mercedes
Ken Block's
E63,
Mustang though.
that getting in that car changed my life. Just to know that there's a car that can do everything like that. That's like big enough to fit the family, looks good, super comfortable. Like
Yeah, I could take the family 80 mile an hour around curves now.
Takes bumps fine, and then has 603 horsepower. And like, dude, you teleport through space when you step on the. And I can only speak because I've only driven a couple crazy cars. Like when you hit that throttle, like you're going warp speed. Like time changes. Like my car's fast, And like my car, you feel it in my car, but that E63S, oh my God, dude. Oh my God. Ridiculous.
And where did you drive that at?
Just on the street. We had one at the dealership.
Exactly.
Just on the street.
Dude. Was you by yourself?
Once I was by myself, and then the other time I went with Chris. But
okay, so Chris doesn't count. Chris is still basically like being by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and then he drove it.
Yeah, like he's not gonna tell you to be slow or anything. But dude, that's what I'm saying. You didn't bring up You're bringing that up over the GTR as an experience that you've had, right? And you've actually was on a track and shit.
So it's different though, because on a track, it's when you're on the street, you gotta dodge traffic, police, lights. It's so different. It's so much more amped up on the street. So if I drove it on a track, maybe it doesn't compare to the GTR. The GTR is probably better on the track, but I've only driven it on the street, it amps everything up.
I was going to ask you, it's not because you felt like you were by yourself and you could just do what you wanted, whereas you were with the instructor on the track and you were like, I'm in his world now. You felt comfortable on the street, so you were a little bit more testy maybe, or not?
No, I mean, so that car gives you supreme confidence because the way it handles and how powerful it is. But like I said, you got to dodge traffic. You're confined to like 2 lanes. You got to hope there's not a cop. Like so everything's amped up, and you step on that throttle, you're just like, Jesus Christ! And you're in a big ass family car. When I was on the track,
you're just talking about it.
I didn't give a shit. I hammered down when I was on the track. I didn't have anything to worry about. Yeah. I had no worries. It was me in that road. That was it.
So you were like, damn, I'm on the street right now, and I can't believe I have this powerful beast. I can't. And it's basically acceleration, right?
I can't believe I'm doing top speed. 110 and a 35. That's what I'm thinking. I can't believe.
Oh, really?
Yes, dude. Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
God damn,
Granted,
dude.
Bigelow Boulevard probably.
And the fastest you took the GTR was 120.
Yes, on a racetrack. Bigelow Boulevard probably shouldn't.
You're fucking crazy.
Probably shouldn't be 35. It's easier to do a straightaway. Like it's a longer straightaway. It's like 2 miles long, Bigelow Boulevard. Whereas that entire racetrack was 1.6, and not all of it straight. Right. So it's easier. It's easier to get that speed on like a highway. Think about it. Think about like on 219. Think about 219. You can, if you had the car to do 200 miles per hour, you could hit 200 miles per hour on 219, right? On some parts of it.
I get it. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Whereas on a racetrack, depending on how big it is, you're not hitting that 200 miles per hour in any car.
No, I understand. Check this out. You didn't hit 110 in a 35.
Yeah, I don't want to incriminate myself.
Yeah. No, I know how you are. You're joking. But you were talking about like when you would give it gas at like green lights and stuff, how it would throw you in the back, how it would throw you back and stuff.
Oh my God. And so then this week I drove a C63, which is same engine, just in a smaller car. Didn't like it at all. Didn't like it at all. Super uncomfortable. And it was rear wheel drive, so the tires would spin out, and people like that. I'm not into the rear wheel drive cars. Maybe on an old car I would like it, but for a modern car, I like all wheel drive. I like having traction all the time. The E-Class just takes the road so much better than the C-Class, being that it's bigger and more comfortable. The C63, trust me, I would drive that car if I could, but compared to the E-Class, I like the E-Class so much better, so much.
Have you ever done a burnout?
Oh, not like a...
And I mean where you sit and spin.
No, I've spun tires on purpose, but I've never cooked tires before. No,
bro.
Yeah, no,
like, dude, I don't know this at the level of a fast car, but I've done it in pickup trucks and stuff, and it's fun.
Challenger,
dude, it's fun.
Challenger and Camaro, I would be doing burnouts all day. If I had the ZL1 Camaro or a Hellcat or a Demon, oh my God,
dude.
If actually, the Hellcat, I'm sure the Demon's the same way, but if you look up videos on YouTube, Hellcat's probably the best burnout car of all time. It might be. If you watch just that torque and that power, it's probably the best burnout car of all time.
Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Dude, I understand. Why don't they make them all-wheel drive? Like the Demon, like the new cars. I'm saying, I understand why you don't do the classic, but like, why don't they make them all-wheel drive and then you can just lock you can like lock in.
I don't
Lock in the rear wheel.
know. People have wanted an all-wheel drive Camaro, and GM just won't do it. You can get an all-wheel drive Challenger, but it's only in a 6-cylinder.
I don't really want it all wheel drive.
Right.
But hell, dude, see, a 6-cylinder I wouldn't even mind. I could care less.
No,
I
it's
wouldn't even
fun.
mind a
It's fun. I didn't push it super hard, but the 6-cylinder Challenger, it's a fun car. You could have fun in it.
So a Hellcat Demon, I want it rear wheel drive.
Yeah.
Just if I'm being honest, that's the experience you're gonna get. But like I wouldn't a normal like a little fun car like you're saying, I wouldn't mind that being all wheel drive.
Yeah.
Because it's like your everyday drive.
Yeah. Of course.
Would you say that? Would you say model? What model? 392.
392. Yeah. That's where like really good performance and still not super expensive.
So I'm buying a new vehicle soon.
No, and what they did with the Challenger when they brought it back to keep a
That's my
retro,
car, man.
the retro look and make it modern at the same time. Challenger and Camaro, they're the probably best examples. I can't think of any other cars that have a retro look and are modern at the same time. And way more than the Mustang.
Those Mustangs were horrible.
Yeah, way more than
those
the Mustang.
Cobras they brought back. Like you know what I'm talking about? Those lime green ones and their convertibles. Oh my God! What were you doing?
Horrible. I
You know
hate
what it looked
Mustangs.
like? It looked like a punch. Like it looked like a punch bug in a Mustang had wrecked, and that was like the afterbirth of it.
They're not good at all.
Like those things were so ugly, dude. They were so ugly, dog. Round and just. Ugh.
Yeah, I've always been more partial to Camaros than Challengers, but I'd be fine with either one. I'd be fine with a Challenger or a Camaro. Yeah.
But dude, you think about like Dodge Darts, Hemi Cudas, like, oh my God, the Monte Carlos.
Yeah, classic muscle
Monte
cars.
Carlo SSs.
And then,
Dude.
like, for me, I don't know. I mean, you're into the 70s Skyline, but if you get into 90s Japanese cars, like I already said the 90s GTR, but then you got this Toyota Supra. You got the Mazda,
my God,
Mazda RX-7, like some beautiful,
Yep.
beautiful cars in that era.
Yep.
There's just... Because in the 90s, there weren't many cool cars coming out. Like 90s American cars suck balls. Like you don't want 90s Corvettes and Camaros, and they weren't even making Chargers and Challengers in the 90s. You don't want any of that shit. Trust me.
So like the Need for Speeds and stuff.
Yeah. You want
Like when the Fast and the Furious was big. The Supra was my. I
dude.
like that one. I like that Supra.
yeah.
Dude. That Supra was dope.
Yeah. It's definitely a super.
I went into the phase of tuners, but I'm out of the phase of tuners. I could do away with them. I have no desire to.
Oh, I hear you. Actually, you know what? It's really refreshing to look at like tuner cars. Look at how they look stock and how beautiful they are stock. Because you've just seen what people have done to them. Like a stock Supra, that's a beautiful car. Remember the 3000 GT, the Mitsubishi 3000 GT? Now they're
100%,
like they're
yep.
rusting in people's driveways and mocks them for whatever reason. But that was
Speaking of,
beautiful car.
They just made a Supra.
Yes. So
2020 or 2019?
it's 2020 and 2021. It's literally, and I mean literally, it's a BMW. It's a BMW and Toyota built the body, but it's a BMW Z4. There's even BMW logos on the engine in the Supra. Not that I'm saying that's a bad thing. It's just not really a Supra, which is weird. Oh my God, and I'm forgetting the Acura NSX. Oh my God, beautiful.
Oh yeah, that's a mid-engine.
Yeah.
That's a mid-engine.
Another great car of that era. But yeah, the new Supra, it's cool. I mean, I would drive a Supra. It's cool. It's just not really a Supra. Doesn't really look like it too much. I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting. It's super fast.
I knew they were making one though.
The 21, they made it even faster because the 20 people didn't really like it too much, but they fixed it for 21. But it's literally it's a BMW. In everything about it's a BMW until the body kit.
So you're a Corvette fan, huh?
Oh my God! I mean, growing up, that's my favorite car of all time. Like,
What's your favorite Corvette?
the '63,
ZR1.
the '63. Just in terms of beauty, that might be the most beautiful car of all time, especially Joe Rogan's Corvette. His, I think it's a 67, but it's the same body style. But his doesn't have a roof, so you can't see the rear windshield anyway. But
Are you talking just regular or the Stingrays?
The Stingrays, of course. Yeah, the 60 Stingray. Outside of the 63, then I would either go. I would probably, I don't know, 01 and 06. Everything I've heard about them, they're amazing. They're just so hard to drive. So, I don't know. I would probably go with the 01 because it's a little more ridiculous looking. Like a 2019 ZR1. And then, but honestly, the brand new Corvette, I'm absolutely in love with the 2020 Corvette. Everything about it. But the mid-engine Corvette, I'm absolutely in love with it. So, if you said I'm going to get you a Corvette right now and you can't get me a 60s Corvette, I would take the 2020.
Damn, dude, I was wrong.
What's up?
I'm over there saying oh yeah, I think that was even the Coca-Cola car at one time.
Oh, you're thinking of the 50s. 53.
I think I
Look
am,
up
dude.
53 Corvette. That's what you're thinking of. That's the boxier one. The Stingray is the 60s. Yeah, I don't really, the 1953 Corvette. It's cute. The first, like the original Corvette. It's a cute car. And that's what you're thinking of, right?
I envisioned that car with the front end of the 60s.
Yeah, like
That's
that.
what I was thinking. I did not. Yep.
That's the 60s. That's the original, or 50s.
Yeah,
That's
I
the
don't-
original
I don't-
Corvette right there. I'm not really in. That's like a Barbie car.
I don't like that bubble. Yeah, I don't like that.
That's like a Barbie
yeah, I got
car.
you.
Right. The 63. Actually, I'm just going to look up. Honestly, Joe Rogan has the coolest Corvette I've ever seen. Joe Rogan. He had it on Jay Leno. This thing, it's all silver. It's got solid wheels. There's no spokes to them at all. Just look at that. Look at that thing.
Damn.
Just absolutely. That color, like, absolutely beautiful. Here's the back of it. It's hard to see with the webcam, but
Yeah, that is sweet. I was thinking more of like the 1960 Corvettes, not the Stingrays.
yeah.
So a little bit newer than one of the 53s,
So-
but yeah, that's
63.
Cool,
So if I got it in 63, you can
Yeah,
see it's got
63 is
the
dope.
it's got the split roof or the split window. Yeah,
which is awesome.
Yeah.
Which is
they
awesome.
only did it for 1 year, so they're super super rare. But that front end, you just don't see cars with a front end like that.
No, dude.
You just don't. I mean, there was the Jaguar Type E in the 50s and 60s, or the 60s had a similar front end, and then like there were the Datsuns had a front end kind of like that. But outside of that, just one of the most beautiful
Yeah.
cars of all time.
It is a good looking car, dude. It's definitely a sharp car, for sure.
Awesome.
Sure. Bet it drives like shit.
Oh, it does drive like shit. But it's from the 60s. What do you expect? But at least like Joe Rogan's,
Well, some of them cars,
it's a resto
like
mod.
those Impalas,
so
don't.
The body is original and everything below it, suspension, everything is modern. So his probably drives amazing. But
So keep an eye out on your notifications on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna tag you in one of these pictures that this guy does. It's I believe he's German.
Okay.
And he does all these cars. He puts his own. He has his own twist that he puts on every single car.
Yeah.
And dude, they're sweet. Some of them are cool. I'll tag you in one of them. I thought they were so cool. Like he'll do all cars.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what it is, and he'll put like body kits on them, but they're not like tuners.
Yeah.
He has his own. You'll see.
Awesome.
You'll see once you. It's pretty cool, dude. They're sharp.
Yep.
But, anyways, man, this was fun.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah.
How you been? What's new with you, dude? Anything before we wrap this up? We talked about me, but what's up with you?
Not much. Just
How's work? Did you start? Did you get promoted yet?
in the process. But
All
yeah,
right,
but in the process. But it's definitely happening. So I'll be whenever you're ready to buy a Mercedes, let me know. Everyone out there listening, I'll be slinging Benzes here soon.
No, good for you, dude.
I'm looking forward to it.
So what's the how's everything else, man?
Yeah, everything's good.
What's the update?
Everything's good.
How's the cat? How's Gizmo?
Gizmo's great. He's asleep on the bed right now.
Word.
Should be some good games this weekend. I'm rooting for Bills over Ravens, obviously. We don't need to really get into it. It's just what I think is going to happen. I think the Browns.
I'm listening to you.
The Browns are going to take it to the Chiefs. They're going to be up early, and it's going to look like they're going to win. And then Mahomes is going to have the ball in his hand. They're either going to be down by a field goal or they're going to be down by 6 points or something. He's going to have the ball in his hand with 2 minutes left or a minute 50. And Chiefs are going to score and win a close game. That's my prediction for that one. But everyone's going to be like, oh, my God, the Browns are going to go. The Browns aren't going to do shit. They're going to look good at the beginning because the Chiefs have been very slow recently, and they have a week off, which I don't think that's a good thing anymore in the NFL. It's starting to become not a good thing taking a week off, even for a team like that. So the Chiefs, this is a team that struggled against Washington and against Atlanta. The Browns' run game right now is ridiculous, so they're going to be up early, and then I think the Chiefs are just going to pull it out at the end. So they're going to go to the championship game. Bills-Ravens, don't know how it's going to go. I just think the Bills are going to win. I think they're just too much for the Ravens. Their offense is better than the Ravens, and the defenses are about the same. Both have very good defensive backs. I just think the Bills are a more solid team, more complete in every way. So Bills are going to win. And then I don't think the Chiefs are ready for the Bills in the championship game. I don't. I think they're better in just about every way. I think the Chiefs are I don't want to call them overrated because people aren't like blowing them out of the water.
That's a great game. That's a great game.
Yeah, I just think the Bills are too much for the Chiefs. The Bills at their best are going to be better than the Chiefs. This is my opinion. So Bills make it to the Super Bowl. In the NFC, I didn't think the Rams were going to beat the Seahawks.
Green Bay.
I didn't think they were going to completely control that game the way they did. So had that not happened, I would say the Packers are going to beat the shit out of the Rams because that might still happen. It might still be a very boring game. Packers are just going to win. I don't know how it's going to happen. They could beat the shit out of them. It could be an interesting game. Packers, they're just not going to beat – the Rams are not going to beat the Packers. And then the Saints should beat Tampa Bay. They really should. They love getting fucked over in the playoffs, so maybe it's going to happen, but they just should beat Tampa Bay. But it's so hard to bet against Tom Brady. And now that he's got freaking Antonio Brown and everyone else clicking and they're on fire, I don't know. But it doesn't matter.
You think we have a Saints Buffalo?
No, it doesn't matter because no one is beating Green Bay in a championship game in Green Bay.
You don't think so?
Green Bay is going to – should the Rams not knock them off? It doesn't matter if it's Tom Brady or Drew Brees. No one's beating Green Bay. Green Bay is going to make it to the Super Bowl. So it's going to be Packers, Bills. And then who wins that? I have no clue. But Allen versus Rodgers, yes, please. Yes, please. Probably the best matchup you can have. Bills and Chiefs is definitely great, but just in terms of a Super Bowl, Allens and Rodgers, yes,
absolutely.
please.
We'll take it. We'll take it.
That's what I think is going to happen. So should be interesting.
Nice. Sounds good.
Okay.
Packers all the way.
I do not want the Packers to win the Super Bowl at all. I want the Bills to win. That's the team I'm rooting for. So
for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Could you?
I already admitted I was a bandwagon fan. Yeah. So
could
with
you
the Penguins,
imagine? This isn't going to happen, but could you imagine a Browns-Ravens championship game? I can't. No, I can't. I can't even imagine it. Honestly, I can't. I can't even visualize those two teams playing for championships. So
we'll see what happens.
All right, Soldier. Have a good night.
I mean, I watched Ravens win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And that was hard.
Yeah, you're right.
It was hard.
You're right.
So, but yeah, dude, good seeing you,
bro.
bro.
Have a good night. Be safe.
Yep.